As long as you hit every muscle group about twice a week, no point overcomplicating it. I think it gets a little weird if you're going full body. I'm not inclined to want to do a full body workout, apart from maybe just for general athleticism and staying active. In a bodybuilding context, I want to go in here and just thrash specific muscles on a specific day.
I'm starting a new training split. Full body training 5 times a week. You may think I'm a little bit crazy, but I thought that I need something new. I need something exciting. And in this video, I'll go over some benefits to this training split and also some downsides, or rather some important notes that you need to take into account when trying something like this. So this is what I did today when I was training. I did 3 working sets of pull-ups, then 3 working sets of humble rows. Then I did 3 working sets of leg press, a high rep leg press, standing calf raise for 3 sets, 3 sets of cable upright row, and 3 sets of hammer curls. So why in the hell am I doing my whole body in one session like this? Well, let's look at some of the science. I'm very well aware that this goes beyond any widespread split ever. But instead of doing everything in one day and completely destroying that body part, we're just spreading it out during the week. And why is this something that's good? Because frequency is something that's very beneficial for muscle and strength building. I've said before on this channel, and I stick to my opinion on this, 1 body part per day, the classical bro split, sucks. And that's because we don't get enough frequency during the week. So I would say the least amount of sessions you want to do per muscle is 2 per week. Now, this bro split got popularized during the golden era of bodybuilding, so with Arnold and those guys. The reason why they did like that and why it worked for them, because they did a session in the morning and then they did another session in the evening, and they had a very long training career that allowed them to recover from those sessions. If they'd hit arms on Monday and maybe legs as well on Monday, they'd hit them again on Wednesday or Thursday. Us regular people don't have time for this. If it's your job, you will have time for it. And we don't have the medical enhancements that they did when training. So, or at least I hope you don't. I don't. So for me, why I chose this route over upper lower body or push-pull legs or full body 3 times per week is because this provides me with a new stimulus that my body is not adapted to. So when we train in a certain split, or over time we get used to that kind of split, this takes a long time. We're talking 6 months, a year, 2 years, depending on your fitness level, but you will get used to the kind of training you're doing eventually. I've done upper lower splits. I've done full body 3 times per week splits. I've done push-pull leg splits. I've done most of the other types of splits, but I never tried this one. I'm able to fit a lot of volume per body part during the week. Not a lot of volume per session, but per week. I'm able to hit it each body part with a very high frequency. And this has to do with muscle protein synthesis. And I'm gonna explain this in a more detailed manner later in this video. I wrote then volume twice here, sorry for that. And then we come to quality, set quality. So imagine you're doing a leg day. You're going all out, balls to the wall, you're going hard. And that's what you should do. But we start off with something like squats. And then we move on to Bulgarian split squats. We do 3 sets of each. Then we move on to Romanian deadlifts. Then we may be doing leg extensions. By the second exercise, you're gonna be completely shot in your legs already. So by portioning this out during the week, my set of Bulgarian split squats will be of higher quality since I'm not that fatigued when I'm doing them. The same with RDLs, because I'm not fatigued from squats, Bulgarian split squats, when I do my RDLs. Every movement will be of higher quality than if I did all of them on the same day. Volume. So we don't need a lot of volume to just elicit hypertrophy. But I'm trying to optimize my program here. I'm not trying to go for the lowest amount of sets I need. So as you can see here, with high loads, with over 85% of my 1RM and a low number of repetitions, so 1 to 5 reps, with long rest intervals, we will gravitate more towards mechanical tension. Mechanical tension is really good at developing strength and developing muscle. So we'll throw in maybe 3 or 6 sets of an exercise with high mechanical tension during the week per body part. And then what we'll do, since a higher set volume per muscle per week is associated with greater increases in hypertrophy, we want to implement training with a moderate number of repetitions, so between 6 to 12 for multiple sets with moderate loads, 60 to 80% of 1RM. What we'll do here is use more isolation exercises to get a higher set count with less fatigue. So we do 3 hard sets of squats on Monday. We have achieved great mechanical tension, but we're not destroying our legs completely during Mondays. What we'll do on Tuesday is another leg exercise, but more towards the isolation side, so we don't elicit a high degree of fatigue. So we'll still get the amount of sets that we want to do, but we won't be as fatigued on a per session basis. And why is this good? When we're talking about frequency, what really matters the most is muscle protein synthesis. So muscle protein synthesis is when the protein that we digest from our food is synthesized into muscle fibers. For beginners, they see a higher degree of muscle protein synthesis after training for up to 48 hours. For intermediate and advanced trainees, they get a higher muscle protein synthesis for about 12 to 13 hours after training. So a pretty significant higher frequency may be beneficial. And this is in line with what the science says. So this is a figure that compares trained individuals and untrained individuals, for how long and when muscle protein synthesis is elevated. So as we can see here, this graph with the triangles is the trained individuals. So we see up to 160% increase in muscle protein synthesis pretty shortly after we're trained. And then it drops pretty significantly again. And then it stabilizes around 10 to 17 hours after training. In untrained individuals, we see up to 110% increase right after training. And then after about 17 hours, they hit their highest peak at about 170% increase. And then it drops again after about 24 hours. But it stays quite stable at a high percentage for up to 48 to 50 hours. In trained individuals, it's significantly lower after just 10 hours, as you can see. So I want to increase frequency to more frequently get muscle protein synthesis in my muscles, in each and every muscle, not just my legs or my chest or whatever, but in my whole body. But there are some things that are worth considering when jumping on a full body training split for 5 times a week. And that's mostly recovery factors. So muscles takes about 24 to 48 hours to recover, and joints take about 48 to 72 hours to recover. If your muscles aren't recovered, you'll mostly be sluggish and won't be able to lift as much as you normally would. But if your joints are not recovered, you may as well run into an injury. So how do we combat this with full body training? Well, by doing pull-ups on, let's say, Wednesday, as I'm doing today, and doing an isolation exercise like pullovers or something like that the next day for my back, my joints won't get as stressed from those types of exercises. So I'm not doing hard exercises for every muscle group every session. And since I'm more toward the intermediate advanced spectrum, my muscles will be recovered after about 24 hours. But I will have to keep track of this. This is just my second week. My body's not used to this type of training yet, so I felt a little bit sore last week. It's feeling better this week, so I need to really think about my intensity when first starting out. So I'm starting out the first 2 to 3 weeks with a lower intensity, and then I'm gonna ramp it up after 3 weeks. And some factors that will be important for me to think about is, as I said, go easy at first so I'm not overtraining. Keep track of everything. So if I would dip significantly in my performance, I would know. So then I know if I'm going into overtraining or if I'm still recovering as I should. And also form over everything. Because as I said, joints take a longer time to recover. If I focus on slow eccentrics, so the lowering portion of the lift or the extending portion of the lift, and then explode on the concentric portion. So for example, for a bicep curl, the eccentric portion is when I let the dumbbell down, and then the concentric portion is when I contract my muscle again. This will force me to use a lower weight, not stressing my joints as much, and it will also allow me to have correct and proper form for every set and don't start to cheat during my sets, which may lead to injury. I got some pictures here. So this is me coming off of a cut. This is my relaxed picture, front shot, side shot, and then back shot. And I also got some photos with better lighting and flexing. Front shot with an ab flex, flexing abs, chest and arms, double bicep pose, ab flex again, double biceps from the back, lat spread, and a quad flex. And I'm also showing my leg from the side. So what I'm gonna do here initially is for about a month I'm gonna eat at a caloric balance. So I won't eat more than I burn, and I'll see what kind of results I get. And then after a month I'll start eating in a calorie surplus, so I'll just start chugging food, and I'll see what kind of strength and muscle gains I'll get after doing this split for at least 3 to 6 months. And then I'll reevaluate if it's something good for me or if I should just go back to the upper lower split or push-pull leg split. The program I'm on right now is Jeff Nippard's full body program. Since this is a split I have never tried before, I want some expert guidance on how to execute it, and don't try to come up with anything myself first, since it may lead to injuries and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to more gains. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.